directly to you. That's right. This is the 41st episode right here of our weekly podcast here on youtube.com/directly to you. It's on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, so many different places. You guys, at this point, you guys know the spiel. We ran it by you guys so many different times. If you guys want to support, then you guys can feel free to do so. Anywhere between $1, $10, you can join, become a member. If you just don't feel like
no, you got it all wrong. It's from $1 to $10 to be an anchor support program. If you want to be a member, it's $4.99. At the $4.99 level, either way you do it, you're going to get the same perks, all that good dear stuff.
The emojis, the custom emotes like me sleeping and AJ. I don't know what emotes you have.
Whatever other emotes we have.
Right
now we have two. We have the emote of Logan being like, ugh, and then the emote of me being like, hi. But suggest other ones. A suggestion so far has been you sleeping, but we didn't get any more suggestions yet. So let us know what you want to see.
That'll be good. I need a freaking happy emoji, guys. All right, suggest that. Put a happy emoji. We're gonna get a happy emoji. All right, I'm not miserable. I like to know what like I am in the minds of you guys. Sometimes you guys think I'm just an angry person. Come on, that's not. Come on, what?
Sleeping's not angry.
I sleep very angry actually. No.
That's fair.
So what's up? What's going on?
Just my life is Pokemon. I'm not gonna get into what we're not gonna do the playing thing, you know.
Right, yeah.
But as far as just a lot of Pokemon, that's it.
Yeah, not much going on here, but that's a good thing. No drama, nothing extra, crazy.
That's true.
Man, I mean,
we actually freaking hung out. That never happens when we streamed.
We did that last week too.
Yeah, we did it last week, but it was like just us. So it was like more of like a work thing. Whereas when it was like me, you, Joel, and Lance, it was kind of just like us, like hanging out.
Yeah, true.
So that's different. That's a change of pace.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, you guys should definitely check out those streams every Wednesday. Also, I kind of floated it by you on Twitter passively, but I might be streaming Pokemon Let's Go tomorrow, probably. You want to come over for that?
I gotta see how. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let you know.
All right. So I'm probably going to do it regardless, but Logan might be there. Anyway, Pokemon, the Detective Pikachu thing. What are your thoughts?
All right. My first impression, it was like, okay, Pikachu looks horrible. I don't like the look of this. That was my first impression. Went back and watched it again. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, okay. This is all right. I like the whole it kind of has like an adult like undertone to it as well. Like some of the themes to it. It looks cool. I'm excited to watch it. But at first I was like, man, this looks gross. I was like, this looks terrible. But the more I watched it, it kind of grew me.
So first impressions for me. I had the opposite. I mean, not the opposite in that it got worse, but I saw it and I was like, I don't think that they look perfect, and I never really did. I always and still do continue to think that the Pokemon designs are, a lot of them anyway, are unsettling. Like they don't look bad, but they look weird.
It's definitely like toward a scale of like, if it was a scale of like creepy and like cute, it was definitely more toward the creepy aspect. Right,
exactly. And I would say there's one Pokemon that they nailed, and maybe that's just because its aesthetic is just conducive to being translated into more realistic art style, and it makes sense. But Bulbasaur looks great.
Bulbasaur, I felt Mr. Mime looked all right.
Mr. Mime looks terrifying, but I mean, that's.
And then also, Greninja looked weird.
Yeah, Greninja. See, I took some because IGN, they posted pictures of the because I guess they're practical, like the Pokemon are practical, they're not like CGI completely anyway. And they posted a picture of like the statues or whatever they used. And I zoomed in on the parts that's like, this is weird, like Psyduck's eyes.
Like I was gonna say, like the Psyduck's eyes, Greninja's eyes. I'm like, why are they with like green? Well,
I mean, he's a frog. So.
I'm like, come on, it looks freaking...
He just is terrifying. It makes sense. It completely makes sense. But it's just weird to see them real.
I never was like a huge like the whole like realism, especially for like Pokemon. Like, but I mean, like for this like aesthetic, it has to. For something like this, it just goes well. I feel like.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think, and I thought when I made that video before we saw this, and the funny thing is, like, back then I was like, not down on it, but I was like, this is going to suck. But now the first trailer, I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, is this actually going to be a video game movie that I care about? Like, beyond, like, just thinking like, oh, it's a video game thing, I'll check it out. Because my natural reaction is rarely to be like, oh, they're going to ruin this. Stop remaking X. You know, like I don't think like that. But I'll give thing X a chance, and then I'll watch it and never watch it again because I didn't like it. But I'm going to at least give it a chance. With this, I feel like I might like it. Like all signs are pointing towards this being good. Bare minimum, like bare minimum, it being like a B. You know? Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see this.
But there's Charizard also terrifying, which again, I mean, makes sense for.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's terrifying just being what it is, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Charizard's terrifying. Pikachu. I mean,
Jigglypuff is terrifying looking.
Jigglypuff freaks me out because it's like
looks weird.
Jigglypuff is like one of the design probably that I think doesn't really make sense with how I think of Jigglypuff. Because the rest of them, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because some people are like, it doesn't make sense that Pikachu's furry. It's like, what's wrong with you? Do you know what Pikachu is? But Jigglypuff being furry kind of creeps me out because Jigglypuff is a balloon. So like they could have got away with just making Jigglypuff like more smooth.
Yeah, like even when Bob like he shared his like Instagram his illustration of
he did the Wolf Den Live thumbnail
and that even though I was like I was like, oh, you know, good job, Bob, this looks, you know, but I was like, but aside from that, Jigglypuff looks creepy. Like, I was
the drawing that he did looks good because it looks like the thing that they did, but the thing that they did is like, no, please burn it. It's terrifying.
I was like, this. I'm glad it's, you know, it looks good here, but the source material looks terrible. It looks terrible. Figured I don't know. So I got mixed reactions out of a lot of those.
The phrasing on that, saying that it looks terrible, I don't know if I agree with that. Because I think it looks good. I just think it looks scary, and it doesn't really match how I think of Jigglypuff. Like,
right, exactly.
Like bad CGI, right? When I think bad, I think this doesn't look like it belongs, period. You know, not like this doesn't look like it is a good approximation of the thing that I think it should be. It's just like it looks like it shouldn't belong. It looks like it's obvious fake, you know, like that sort of thing.
So you're saying it looks like it's in place with like in the sense of like the world,
right? Like I think technically and like as far as like production goes and filming on us, they look great, but they're terrifying, and some of their like the art direction is weird for certain Pokemon.
Yeah, that I'm just like, cause you like they think like it's, oh, she's cute, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing cute about that. I'm like that. But then again,
like I showed them to my sister Asia. You know Asia, obviously. I showed them to her, and she was like, "This is like Gremlin stuff."
But then again, like the scene they captured where like where she was like mad and at the diner table. I'm like, well, she's. I mean, that's
true. But
yeah, maybe like later on she has like a sweet scene where it's like, okay, now her features are coming out more because I mean, she did kind of look like rough in the anime too when she was like her face all bunched up. And pissed,
but it was,
but it wasn't
like in the anime it translates better to like, oh, this thing. Oh, you think you're going to do so, like, you know, like that type of not like.
Damn, she's actually scary looking.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's scary. It's like no, she's trying to be scary. That's cute. But no. So outside of that, like the movie itself, like the theming and like the narrative and like all that stuff and like how they're positioning this movie. What did you think of that? Like, before and after. Like when you heard that they were going to do the Detective Pikachu, which did you remember that they said that they were going to do that?
Well, I heard like it was always a thing where it's like, okay, I mean, you take those things like kind of like a grain of salt. With people like, oh, they're going to Detective Pikachu. I'm like, sure. I was like, I'll believe when I see it, type of thing. I just
see the thing that's funny is like with film, that's almost never the case when it's like, oh, I hear they're going to do blank. Like in film, they announce crap real early. Oh, so, yeah, and it's like you know the whole thing. You know, like, oh, here's the director and here's the leading cast and stuff like that. In the gaming world, for the most part, unless you're at an E3 conference for Sony, RIP.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. But later on.
Yeah, but yeah, unless you're at one of their press conferences, you don't hear anything for anything until it's close to being out.
Right.
So when they first announced it, like I said, like when I was talking about my video, I was like, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not like against it, but this isn't what I want. You know, like when I think I want a live action Pokemon movie, I wasn't like I want something that's not the Pokemon thing. You know, like. The 10 to the young adult to child or whatever, however they want to do it, gets a Pokemon and travels the world. Like that's what I was thinking I want. But after seeing this trailer, that opens up a lot of possibilities beyond just this movie in my head.
Right.
And I debated making a video about it, but I don't know.
Right. I think it's cool theming how you know you have this kid, and I think he as you know I think that they casted like a good, you know, I think he's gonna do a good job himself. So just this whole like, okay, I'm trying to, you know, I wanted to be a trainer, but that didn't work out for me, and I was seeing this different avenue, and Pikachu's coming along. I think it's cool. It works out. Right. I'm interested in seeing how this all turns out, but yeah, so far I think the pieces are there, and I want to see how they put it all together. But I'm excited for it.
I want this to be the Iron Man. That's what I want. I want this to come out and then we get like heavy hints that there's going to be more of this, and it's not going to be like Detective Pikachu 2 or whatever. It's going to be the next movie is going to be The Breeder, you know, like that type of crap. Like it's just like the Pokemon cinematic universe. And I saw a lot of people say like, oh, well, why don't they do a Nintendo one? And this is like somebody inviting them to Smash Brothers. And I'm like, I highly doubt Pokemon Company would want that. Like, I feel like Pokemon is more than big enough to be their own thing.
Oh yeah, exactly, entirely.
So it's like it just doesn't make sense for them to like use this to lead into that. I can see them doing like a Spider-Man situation, you know, like where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is its own thing or whatever, and they're eventually like, all right, we'll play ball. We'll let you use Pikachu. We'll let you use Charizard. You know, rather than them being like this whole intertwined thing. Like, it's the Nintendo universe. It's like, no, you have the Mario movie that's coming out, and that's a separate thing from the Pokemon thing that we're going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going
to release a freaking a Mario movie and then all of a sudden combine these two together and be like...
Yeah, like they're related in some way.
Exactly.
But yeah, I want the Pokemon Cinematic Universe. Give it to me now.
Yeah, that'd be freaking... incredible. And this is I'm so excited we're actually like finally seeing this, because it was, you know, it's been a thing that people have been thinking about for a long time. You know, we've seen so many all the animated Pokemon movies are good, you know, and now we're seeing the actual like live action Pokemon movie, and this could be the first live action adaptation. I'm like, oh, this is I like this.
This is going to be like the first Pokemon movie that did really well in the box office for a cartoon. You know, but this is going to freaking kill. Like, I would not be surprised to see this movie cross the $1 billion mark in the box office. Like, I would not be surprised at all, because it has that type of marketing potential. I don't think anime does for like $1 billion figure, right? Like, it's good for a couple $100 million, but I don't think that they would be able to get Hollywood numbers like this movie will. And I think that that's it's going to be like a not quite Pokemon Go level, but it's going to be another one of those moments where everybody's talking about Pokemon. You know, it's not just like Pokemon Let's Go, right? It's not just going to be like you turn on your Switch and everybody's playing Pokemon. It's just like you're going to turn on the news and people are going to be talking about Pokemon.
Man, these announcements, like these things, like they drop in such a calculated, perfect like timing as far as like take the Pikachu trailer, Let's Go games come out. You know, it's like it's just this whole
just
great.
There's another Pokemon movie, an animated one, the follow up to the 20th anniversary one that they did where Pikachu talked and everybody lost their minds.
Oh yeah,
including myself. But and not in a good way. But anyway, that's coming out in like towards the end of the month.
Wow.
Which, by the way, I talked to Brooklyn about seeing that. You might wanna come with us to go see it.
Might wanna, of course not. I'm forgetting what. How dare you invite me? Like,
oh, you're right. You're right. I don't like you.
How dare you slide invite me? No, but yeah, of course.
But yeah, and maybe we'll talk about it on the podcast. I guess we'll talk.
I guess people care about our thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, I guess they want to know our thoughts on a Pokemon movie.
Exactly. And I guess that leads into what we're playing. I mean, do we even have to even say? It's like... So,
before we get into that or what we are currently playing, leading up to this, I played through Pokemon Yellow. And it kind of started as like a joke of like, because like Bob started playing it like 3-4 months ago. And it like his playthrough was like 40-50 hours or something like that. And much in the way that I was like, I'm not going to touch Smash Brothers until we play it. Like, I'm going to embarrass this man. Like, much in that way, I was like, I'm not going to turn on Pokemon Yellow. I'm going to play through it, but I'm not going to play through it until, like, it's down to the wire because it just doesn't take that much time to do it. So I started playing through it, like, I'd say, like, a little over a week ago. And I already finished it. I have under 24 hours on the game clock, and I'm done. But I had to make sure I did that before Let's Go came out, just to remind myself of the Yellow specifics.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I did that, and then I'm playing Pokemon Yellow. Pokemon Let's Go. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh wait, tell the people about which one you got.
I hate you so much.
Oh wait! Product provided by Nintendo. Forgot to say it. Product provided by Nintendo. But we'll get into more of that.
Couldn't just let me slide. And I jumped the gun on this way too soon as far as like my purchase and all that, because of the whole situation that went down. But anyways, that's just
Oh yeah.
Anyways, after all the talk I did, all the smack talk I did, I couldn't help it. I went and got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I know. You guys are in the comments like, what? You were talking about Team Eevee and all this other stuff.
This is the truth comes out. Because I was telling Grimhane was like, oh, I'm hashtag Team Logan because he's hashtag Team Pikachu. I'm like, Logan's a fraud. Like, Logan the only Pokemon stuff I've ever seen you have is a Pikachu thing. You have a freaking Pikachu plush. Show me Eevee. Take a picture of an Eevee plush and post it on Twitter. If you're hashtag Team Eevee, Logan, I don't want to hear none of that nonsense.
Yeah, I couldn't help it. I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah. The lie. You couldn't hold it up long enough.
I was like, I gotta get it.
You wanted to be the man of the people, but you're over here, and not even the man of the people, the man of the outlaws. The rebels.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Like, you know what? I stand with you.
It was a charade. It was a charade.
It was 100%. 100%.
I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys you were backing me for the longest.
But
you were backing me.
I knew.
So, yeah, obviously playing Let's Go. It's a crabby game. No, I started playing like super early this morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Super early. I didn't get that far. First of all, would you nickname your Pikachu if you did?
I didn't nickname my Pikachu.
What? You're basic.
Am I?
No, I wanted to nickname I wanted to do nickname him Ryan because of the whole take the Pikachu thing. I was like,
yeah. People did say
I wanted to do that, but I was like, I should have freaking.
I mean, you still can. See, that's the dope thing about this game, and I'll get into that when I talk about my impressions. But yeah, you still can do that. You can change your Pokemon's nickname whenever you want, and wherever you want.
I'm gonna do that because right now I have it as Ray. That's like for Raiden, the freaking electric Mortal Kombat dude. You guys know Mortal Kombat. Well, maybe some of you don't. But yeah, I freaking nicknamed him that. I was looking for a while. I was looking through like lightning gods. You know, I didn't want to just be like, okay, Pikachu. I was like, man, I want a dope nickname for my Pikachu. I want a freaking cool nickname, but I ended up just going with that. Then later I was like, oh, I could have did freaking Ryan. That'd been awesome, but I didn't.
Yeah, my Pikachu is Pikachu. I don't think I'm ever going to change it. But anyways, the game. How far? Where did you stop at? Do you know? Did you get your first badge yet?
No, I literally got to Viridian and just stopped.
Well, so I didn't start playing until I woke up. I woke up very early, especially considering when I went to sleep. And the thing that's funny is like it's like two I don't even like the 2 trains passing in the night or whatever, that whole visual. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm not even going to wait for Nintendo to provide product. I'm not going to stay up for that because I knew that they were going to send it. But usually when they send stuff, they send it day of around noonish. But this time they sent it at midnight Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Day, like I don't know, specific time. Pacific time.
Yeah.
They sent it at 3 a.m. our time, 3 a.m. real people time, and I went to sleep at like 2:30. So I could have played it, but I was like, I'm going to sleep. But I went to sleep at 2:30. I woke up at like 8, and I saw the email, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm playing this now. And I just beat Misty, so I'm like a decent amount of the way through the game.
You like the battling? I haven't gotten to any yet.
What do you mean?
Like
by
you
that?
Like how?
You mean like the battling is not really different, except for they took abilities out, but it's Gen 1. It's Gen 1 battling. As far as catching the Pokemon. Yeah. I think I like it better than Wild Encounters regularly because it gives me more than one reason to not avoid them. Because it's like it's a laser targeted it's a laser targeted experience in more ways than one, where for like the competitive people out there, for the EVs and stuff like that, right? It's pretty specific on like what you need to battle to get what you need. So it's like, oh, I want attack EV, so I gotta battle a Lillipup, right? Like I'm pretty sure Lillipups give it attack EVs. In this game, obviously, as you know, you can see what Pokemon you get into the encounter with before you go there. But even beyond that, those Pokemon give you either immediately or when you transfer them to the professor, they give you candies to give that specific stat to whatever Pokemon you want, rather than you say only Pokemon you have available right now is your Pikachu, and the only Pokemon, I mean, you have to battle a Pokemon that's only going to give you a special attack. I mean, that's a bad example. Physical attack EV, right? But you want a special attack EV. So it's like you're going to waste that slot and the amount of allotted EVs that you could potentially have by taking that Pokemon out. Whereas in this game, you only get EVs in what you want to get EVs in, because it's deliberate in that way, where it's like, I'm going to give this to this Pokemon because this is the stat that I want to invest in. I like it in that way, and I like it in the, like I said, in that it makes it easier to avoid in a lot of different ways, where you can immediately run from a battle and it's not moving through a menu. You just press B and then press A, and then you ran. Instead of like navigating over to run. Are you sure you want to run? Yes, and then you run. And this is just press B, press A, and then you're done. You're out of that encounter. You can go on about your life. And then outside of that, like obviously, like the act of catching the Pokemon or ending the battle without running, it's also faster, because you're not like, I'm going to choose this Pokemon and then choose this attack, and then I'm going to wait until that animation plays. It's okay, here's the Pokeball. I'm going to throw the Pokeball. Did I catch it? I caught it. I didn't. Okay, I'm going to throw another Pokeball. You know, like that sort of thing. So I like it for that reason. It's because Wild Encounters were always more of a nuisance to me than part of the experience in a fun way. Also, I might as well talk about this too, the Pokeball Plus, which I did not think was going to get here today. Also a free product. That is cool. Like that's something that I wish I had when I was like really young, because I would have freaking lost my mind. I think it's cool in like a novel way now, but back then I would have thought it was like the best thing in the world. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I
Because it's like, yeah, sorry, it like, it helps with that immersion. Like, I'm really in this, you know? It's like, this is a real thing, and it creates that really well, you know? Even though, like, as adults, we know, it's like, oh, come on, this little, you know. But as kids, it would have been game over.
Right.
It'd have been game over.
It's just so dope, because it's like, have you used it at all, or do you have that, or do you have one?
No, I don't have one.
Okay, so basically obviously, as you know, you can use it to throw the Pokeball and stuff like that. Right, when you throw the Pokeball, you can see and hear and feel what stage of the capture it's at. So, like, you'll hear it shake the first time, and then it'll blink, and then you'll hear it shake another time, and it'll blink, and then you'll hear it shake another time, and it'll blink a different color. And then it'll like make the Pokemons cry that you caught.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Or if it breaks out, it's gonna blink red and say like it's. I think it might not make the cry. It just makes the open sound of the Pokeball opening, and that like each time you can know if you caught the Pokemon or not without looking at looking at the game. You can look at the Pokeball and know, or listen or feel the Pokeball and say, okay, I caught it. Okay, I didn't catch it. And then outside of that, like you can put your Pokemon in there when you're not like. Say you don't want to take your Switch anywhere, but you want to get rewards for walking or whatever, you can put your Pokemon from Pokemon Let's Go in the Pokeball, and they'll pick up like candies and stuff like that. And you could also use it for Pokemon Go, like the OG Pokemon Go, as the same thing as the other accessory that they had. The Pokemon, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's around the same thing. It's like Pokeball Plus or something like that. Something around that.
Right.
Around that branding, but it's not the same exact name. So it's that in the same. It's two products in one essentially. So it's like if you missed that one, you got this. You know. So yeah, it's really cool. I like it.
That's freaking crazy.
Now
I want to get one.
You probably want to. I'll show you when you come over for whichever stream you do next.
Sweet. Freaking
It's pretty dope. I like
this whole game is dope.
That's true.
But it's not going to sell anything. Too bad.
and that's the thing about this game, because it's like I just knew what it was, and I want what it is. You know, like it's not even a thing of like I want a Pokemon game that's like every other Pokemon game, and I'm just going to accept it because I like Pokemon. It's like, no, I was tired of doing the same exact experience every single time. So I'm happy that they changed it up, and they really steered into other aspects of what make Pokemon across different mediums, because it's not just, and it was never even supposed to be, all about what the hardcore fans associate it with. Like, most hardcore Pokemon fans, like, you know, the ones that hate this game, they don't even care about the main story or anything like that. Like, they rush through that to get to the competitive scene. They think that's the point. But it's supposed to be all of that. It's supposed to be all-encompassing, you know?
Exactly.
So a lot of times, the stuff that really shines through in this game get left by the wayside in other games. So it's like a lot of people, like, if the next Pokemon game were to skimp on any of those details, I would be upset, just like a lot of, well, not just like, I would be upset by them taking that away, just like people are upset about the wild encounters. Granted, again, I think that it's a legitimate thing in that way, not to say like, oh, what I like matters more or whatever, but even the people that are fighting for wild encounters also get annoyed by wild encounters. I don't know anybody that doesn't get annoyed by, oh, I ran into another Pokemon and I couldn't do anything about it. That's annoying. Every 3 steps, really? You know, like how many memes are there online about random encounters in Pokemon?
Exactly.
Nobody liked them until they said that they were going to take them out. And I feel like the people that like the aspects that they're doubling down on now in Pokemon Let's Go always did. Like in Heart Gold, right? Like ever since Heart Gold, ever since Yellow, really, people were like, put following Pokemon back in the game. Put it back in the game. They put it back in the game, and Heart Gold, people were like, yes. And then they took it out again. Put it back in the game. Put it back in the game, you know?
Oh, exactly.
So it's like, I just hope that they maintain that, and not even just that. I want them to maintain the care that they put into the story and the expressiveness of the world and how realized it feels in a lot of ways. Lively.
Yeah, man. I'm just. And I'm so excited. I'm just taking my time with it. You know, I'm just gonna go like really slow and just enjoy it. You know, for what it is.
Right.
I'm not gonna be all freaking rushing through, or I'm a freaking just beat this. And because it's not that, like you said, it's not like how people like it's super competitive, and it's not. This is a whole different experience, and I'm gonna just treat it as such.
Right.
And
that said, I'm probably gonna beat it by the end of this week. Not because I'm gonna rush. Just because I'm going to play a lot, and it's going to be. I'm doing it because I want to make a video about how. Well, I'm not going to get into what I'm going to make the video about, but I need to play it a lot for the video I'm going to do next week. Just know that.
No spoilers. No spoilers. No,
I'm going to play it a lot. Not to say I wasn't going to do that anyway, but this just gave me an excuse. And freed up the time, because otherwise, if I wasn't going to make this video, I wouldn't be able to play it as much as I am now.
And you made a video about Pokemon Let's Go.
I sure did.
And it made me excited to get Pokemon Let's Go.
Did you get it? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, that's freaking just all around. There's just the freaking hype. The hype. Now you gotta make a Detective Pikachu video next week. Or freaking.
I considered it. I wanted to make
another video.
And I talked to you about doing what I wanted to do on this channel. But I wanted to do that for this channel. I wanted to make a video for this channel, but I didn't have the time. So I was like, I'm just not going to do it. But next time they release some type of trailer or something, something cool will probably come up on this channel. Expect it. Subscribe.
Subscribble. I want to see what you guys thought about. I don't know how to freaking segue into
about
these.
My video.
I don't know how to freaking segue into these comments. Come on, boy. Common boy says, when I played Yellow originally, my ending team was Pikachu, Alakazam, Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Dragonite. I like to say I had them all at a high level and used them all throughout the Elite Four, but the truth is I went there with a level 90 Alakazam. It didn't really matter what the rest of my team was. I could have had a team of level 90 Alakazam and 5-3 Caterpie, really. I'm getting this game for sure. I'm looking forward to sitting down with my daughter and probably catching every single Pokemon she sees.
That's the way to do it. And that's cool. Another thing that this brings up. Like this game, and it makes me want to catch Pokemon more. And the regular Pokemon games, I didn't do that. I just caught what I cared about, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But in this game, like I just want to catch everything. It's like, why not? Why won't I catch this thing? Because
you got to do that and complete that Professor Oak, the Pokedex.
And not even just to complete the Pokedex, but like I want. Not only do I want to complete the Pokedex, but I want to try to get the best version of every Pokemon, because that's another thing that makes. That this game makes simpler and less annoying to manage is getting like shiny Pokemon and perfect IV Pokemon, because you can chain easily. Even when because in the other games, right? You chain by. The easiest way to explain it is a fishing chain. So like you fish, you pull in a Pokemon. If you catch that, then the chain continues, and then you fish again, or you might be able to knock it out too. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Right.
But if you continue that chain, then chain continues, and you're good. If you either don't get a bite, or if you mess that bite up, then your chain breaks. And the chain works in a way that you catch Pokemon consecutively or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So say I'm trying to get a shiny Pidgey. I just keep catching Pidgeys until a shiny Pidgey comes up. And the only thing that can break that chain is if I catch another Pokemon in between that. Not if I run into another Pokemon. If I run into another Pokemon and then I run from that battle and then I go into a Pidgey and then I catch that continues the chain. So it's like literally impossible unless you yourself deliberately mess it up to mess up a chain. And I'm down for that.
I'm gonna catch every single one.
Just
race me.
Get 151 shinies.
Yeah.
Except for 150. I don't know if you can get a shiny Mew. You might not be able to get a shiny Mewtwo either. Now that I think about it.
JBell17 says, I'm getting Pikachu. Haven't really decided my team yet, but I would try to use the Pokemon I haven't used. So the two that I want to use are Rhydon and Arcanine. Maybe Vaporeon as well. Also, after I finish playing, I will start another file and use the co-op feature to get my girlfriend to start playing Pokemon. That team will most certainly only consist of cute Pokemon. That's cool.
That's another thing that I saw a lot in these comments. It's good for that. It's like, I'm going to make my significant other play this. Or my child.
Right.
And I mean, I agree. It seems like a really good game to do that with the supportive feature. My only question would be, are you going to play as the support, or are you going to have them do it? Or are you going to do like a training wheels thing where it's like, start out using the support, and then like when you feel comfortable, take over the file?
That'd be cool.
As far as the team thing, like I asked this question of like, what's everybody's team going to be? I don't even know what my team's going to be because I feel like I have too many options. Like the thing that's weird is like you would think that I feel like I have less options because it's it's not the full Pokedex. But as I'm looking at this Pokedex and playing through Yellow, I realize how many Gen 1 Pokemon I like and want to use. So it's like I want to make a team with this and this and this, but not this with this because they're the same thing, like that sort of situation. So I just want to make multiple teams.
You're gonna have like 8 teams by the end of the week.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? I don't know, just got carried away.
Exactly.
Speaking of getting carried away, Ashley. No, I don't know. I don't know how that freaking tied together.
#member.
#member. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley says, I'm getting Let's Go Pikachu just to give him a bowl cut. Don't at me.
At Ashley. Don't. Where do you stand on these haircuts?
I think they're awesome. I'm gonna get my.
Have you seen these haircuts?
I've seen a couple. Not all of them.
And you still...
I'm most likely gonna watch. I'm most likely gonna rock. I'm gonna put like a cap on mine, something like that.
That's not a hairstyle. I mean, like the freaking, like what Ashley just talked about, the bowl cut on Pikachu, like stuff like that. That's a no. I'm not allowing it.
What?
It looks okay. Like some of the hairstyles look okay on Eevee, but they all look dumb on Pikachu.
Let her personalize her.
No, I'm not allowing it.
Let her personalize. That does look weird on Pikachu.
Yeah, they all look dumb.
That looks weird. But I mean, hey, that way you'll see when it walks, you'll be like, oh, that's Ashley's Pikachu right there.
It's like, oh, it's Ashley's Pikachu. Gross.
I'm also curious to know. I'm also curious to know, Ashley, what are you going to name your Pikachu?
Probably Ryan. Right?
See, you give it a bowl cut like that. You gotta name it something like that. It's gotta be like a cutesy type of thing. It can't be just
or a terrible. Name it Sheldon.
What?
Name it Clayton. Something.
Oh no! You don't make
dumb.
You don't make that. That would just make the. Oh man.
It looks nerdy and dumb, so name it something nerdy and dumb.
Give him the bowl cut and glasses too.
Name him Urkel.
Casey says, pre-order Pikachu digitally, and I'm definitely excited to play it at midnight. From a player starting from Ruby and stopping at Black, finally having a Pokemon game on the Switch is something I've been waiting for since picking up the Switch. Better than no Pokemon game until mid to late 2019.
Agreed. Even though I literally never stopped playing Pokemon. But yeah, I feel the same way. I've always wanted them to do like the full-on console thing. Like just today, I experienced the dopeness that is playing Pokemon on Switch. Where I was like, I'm playing on my Switch handheld mode when I first woke up, and then I'm like, all right, my battery's about to die. I might as well try out like the controller and stuff like that. Plus the the Pokeball got there around that time. So I'm like, yeah, I'll try it on the TV, play it on the TV. I'm like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. I took it on the TV.
That's actually how I started. I started playing it on just using the right Joy-Con, and then early before we started recording the podcast, I was playing it in handheld mode. So just to get that like experience of, you know, essentially like throwing the Pokeball, like getting that sense of, you know, that sense of immersion, as it were, into catching. And I caught like 4 so far, something like that. So
and that's another. Well, I'm gonna say that for my video.
I was just catching just to catch, honestly. But yeah,
I was doing the same thing, but I'm gonna get into that in my video because I did a thing that is completely different from what I usually do. But I'll get into that in the video. Oh shoot! Freaking knock my mic over. Continue.
M567DK says, "I'm sorry, the prices for this game and even the bundle are insane. The catching of them is a bit annoying, and there are less wild battles than trainer battles in this one. I'm out. F this game." No, they don't. But
this comment stood out to me because it's like, what? I don't understand how the prices are insane. I guess he's thinking that I guess he assumed that Pokemon games would be priced like 3DS games for the rest of all time. Even though there's still
that's
like
see that's it.
These are HD games.
That's a good point.
They're full-fledged Nintendo Switch games. You know, like what makes this any less worth $60 than, of all things, something like Kirby Star Allies? You know,
shots fired. Put the gun away. No, that's true.
If Kirby Star Allies can be $60, this game should be $80. That's all I'm saying.
That's very true.
But no. I think this game is worth the price easily. But I don't know. The price is subjective. As far as the other thing that stood out to me in this comment was the amount of trainer battles outweighs the amount of wild battles. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I mean, at least there's battles at all. You know, if they were just like, oh, this is I can see that being an issue. Like, there's no battles in this game. This is just freaking contest Pokemon game or something like that. I don't know. I
couldn't see people being mad about that either. Honestly, if that's what it was,
it's like,
I could see them being mad if it was just Pokemon Go and it cost $60. But that's not what it is. So it's like I don't understand people being mad about it in that way.
It's like you knew that going into like before the even like release, before your video was even up. You know, he knew, you know, like, I don't know, it's just weird to have that hang up after all this time, you know, being like,
it's not even the thing of knowing. The thing that I think is weird is that, like, this comment is worded in a way that glorifies wild battles. Like, who is like, you know what? I'm going to avoid all the trainer battles, and I'm doing the wild Pokemon, because that's where the fun's at. Who does that?
Yeah, I never cared for wild Pokemon battles, honestly.
If I'm doing a Pokemon battle, it's with the trainer. That's what
and they were especially annoying inside the caves. It's just such a
and that's I don't think you didn't get up to a cave yet, did you?
No.
Going through a cave feels so much better in this game because it's not like a thing that I dread. It's not like, oh my god, I'm going to either have to spend all my money on repels or I'm going to like have to deal with every 3 steps running into a freaking Zubat. Like, I don't have to deal with that anymore, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, just like accept the change or get moved over by the truck of I don't know. I'm trying to continue something, but yeah, just get moved over by a truck of change, right? Just come in full speed ahead and you just get out of the way. Cause I don't see this changing as far as like the like, you know, as far as well, I mean, next Pokemon game they're gonna have wild battles, but they're still gonna have the it's gonna be less annoying than it was prior.
I hope they're less annoying.
Because I would hate for that to go like, okay, now you can't see anything ever. Like,
yeah, exactly. That would be so dumb. I feel like more people would be. I feel like more people are accepting of how it is than aren't. But you know, like the people that aren't are louder. You know, like people that are happy about this game aren't going to look up videos of this game and be like, I like this, you know, like they're the people that are like, oh, they'll watch the video to see about it, you know, like learn about it, and then just not comment. Like maybe they don't have a YouTube account and stuff like that, like that casual audience or whatever. Like they're like, I'm happy with this. But the people that are super hardcore that want to be on the internet to voice their displeasure and things, like those are the people that are more likely to like comment on stuff.
The ones that go to a video, spread hate, and then that you see other comments like, why'd you even watch this then?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
those are. It's way more likely for somebody to leave a comment like that than to leave a comment like, yeah, I also am looking forward to this game and blah blah. You know.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to a game that has not been even spoken of, or a game that many of us are speculating about that we don't know if it exists yet, and that will be the next Super Mario game after Odyssey. Now, surprisingly enough, this video has I've seen a lot of comments as far as like people, you know, it's like after people saw this video, like, you know what? Yeah, like I seen a lot of comments like somebody's like some people in the comments like, I like Galaxy better than Odyssey, or I like Sunshine. You're right. Sunshine is better than I seen people actually like coming out of the like that. I've never seen them anywhere else. This video like gave them courage. Like, you know what? Now I think about it, it's kind of crazy. I don't know, but yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about for a while now.
Yeah, no, I disagree. I think like the impression that I got from this video was that what you look for in Mario is kind of the same thing that what you should be looking for in like a Zelda game, because Mario is about mechanics. Like the reward in Mario, and the reason why he's called Jumpman, I was about to curse, Jumpman, is because that's the point of the game. It's like the fun of clearing the challenge. It's not about like, I have this many moons. The moons are whatever. It's, I cleared this challenge. This challenge was here, and oh yeah, I also got a moon. So like the fact that like you were like, oh, I stopped at 200 and something moons and there's nothing else for me to get, I feel like you're looking to get something that the game, and no Mario game really, is trying to offer you. Like even Sunshine, like the point of those games is to the story and or what little story or theming and all that stuff, all that's there, like that's a means to an end, you know. Like they're not like, we're gonna craft the most grand Mario story you've ever heard in your life, you know. Like it's always Peach getting caught by Bowser for a reason, because that doesn't matter. That's not why you're there. And maybe a lot of that is lost on you because of the background of like you not being into the 2D games and that not being a part of your childhood and stuff like that. Because that is literally all that's there at those games. Like they don't even attempt to even give you a semblance of here's like theming and stuff like that. The point is to clear the challenges. It's fun to do that. It's like it would kind of be like what this feels like is somebody saying that Super Smash Brothers Brawl is a better game than Smash 4 because Smash 4 is more focused on the mechanics of the game rather than on Subspace Emissary. And while I like those things, right, like I like theming and I like Subspace Emissary and stuff like that, I would highly disagree with anybody that said that because at the end of the day, Smash Brothers is about the mechanics.
Yeah, well, I even touched on it in the video. I do like Odyssey 4, like, you know, the as far as like it plays better. I like how, you know, the movement of Mario, and you know, it is fun to clear things and, you know, collect these moons after a while. But I feel as though, like, you know, a big part of even around the rollout of this game was like, you know, they emphasized exploring these kingdoms, like being able to explore like this world, or these worlds were a big part of, you know, this whole rollout. And I feel as though getting certain kingdoms, like I mentioned, getting where, okay, you have the Metro Kingdom and all these different places. I'm like, okay, can we make, if that's what we're gonna do, if we're gonna have like, okay, we still have the puzzles, but also have it to where we want you to explore and find these different moons and find ways to, you know, we hide them all these different places. I'm like, well, I'd be more willing and I'd want to jump at that if it was more of a thing where, okay, I like this whole entire world. I like these places, and, you know, giving me some that are just like so shallow and so many places I just don't feel like going into. And even one of the comments, the guy was like, get 500 moons, and I kind of feel like that argument's kind of like me telling somebody the game's fun after 40 hours. I'm like, I already beat the main story of.
Yeah, no, I still disagree with that. Because I feel like with this game, especially once you get into the end of the game, it's very clear that the game is not trying to make you want to find them, quote unquote. The game tells you where they are. It says, here's where these challenges are. It's not find these, it's earn these. That's what it's telling you. So to say that it's like, oh, it doesn't make it interesting to find them, it's not trying to do that. It's trying to make it interesting to accomplish the goal that is getting them once you go to the waypoint on the map. It's like, here's it's kind of like it's like in a racing game, if they're like, all right, here's where we're racing, and then the race is challenging and that's good, and the course is well designed, but you're like, I don't really like the game because the scenery is not nice. And it's just like, that's not the point. Like, that's why it's not like that. And I feel like Breath of the Wild, which you used as an example of like a counterpoint, like what they should do. I feel like Breath of the Wild, even though that is the point of that game, is to discover the world and to look at these vistas, and every turn it's like, it's such like beautiful majesty and all that stuff. That game got a lot of complaints because it was so cohesive. To put it in a lighter, like a brighter context than a lot of people did. It's because it's so cohesive. Like, people didn't like the fact that they didn't do the like off the wall, like, okay, this temple is a water temple, and then you're going to the desert temple. It's every temple is the same thing because of theming. Mario Odyssey was like, to heck with all of that. What we're going to do is we're going to make worlds that can present different obstacles for you. Like, the reason why they have Luncheon Kingdom is so they can put stuff like...
It sucks. No, but go on.
Huh?
Go on. No, I said it sucks. Not really. Not really. No, listen. It is one of my least favorite kingdoms.
Yeah, okay, then I understand what you're... I definitely understand why you don't like the game. It's that game is mechanically... I mean, that is the most, like, mechanically sound, like, challenging on a platformer level. Like, that kingdom is good for that reason. Also, it's crazy well designed visually. Like, the color palette in that, like, what? Like, that's thumbnail fodder. Like, that's the best kingdom in the game for thumbnails. But yeah, like the corner of the cob and stuff like that. Like, that's why they have it so varied, so they can vary up the gameplay mechanics.
And I mentioned that as well. I mean, I do like how that variety lended itself to different types of different type of captures and having these different experiences throughout each kingdom. I just felt like after I beat the main objective, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I just didn't have any. I didn't even like the. And I see people like, oh, do the balloon challenge. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's less the game's fault and more more about what you perceive Mario to be. I think that in this case, it feels like a miscalculation, like of you being like, I want Mario to be this, and it's never really been that. That's why the 2D games are what they are, is because that Mario is about the mechanics. That's why it's positioned in the way that it is. It's kind of like how like most people that buy Call of Duty didn't buy it for the story. Right? Like the story exists and they promote the story. They put a lot of money into that story.
Right.
Because it's marketable. But it's not about that. It's about the online multiplayer. And that's how Mario is. Mario's not about the story. The story's just there. It's about the mechanics. It's about clearing through those levels. So yeah, I think in this specific instance, it's more of like Mario not necessarily being for you, or you not diving deep enough into the mechanics to like learn. I mean, to get an appreciation for them. Because that's why, like, I like Mario Odyssey significantly more on a like if somebody was like, hey, which one do you want to play for fun? Right? Like you got an hour and you're gonna play a game for fun. You want to play Breath of the Wild or Mario? I'm picking Mario every single time. Breath of the Wild is good in like how you the stuff that you said you wanted. It's like the visual spectacle and all that stuff. Like, oh, this looks cool, and that's a good thing to discover, and this looked interesting. But Mario challenges you on a mechanical level, and it's fun to play in that way. It's kind of like, I don't
know. I just feel like after a while, it just and like I said, I enjoyed myself, throughout the game. But after a while, just whatever, it just died to me. And I feel like it's
right. I hear what you're saying, but I felt the same way about Zelda, but it was for a different reason. It was because mechanically that game is the same. Mechanically, you're doing pretty much the same thing throughout the whole entire game.
Yeah.
With Mario, they give you different ways to use his move set, and they challenge you in different ways. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody commented, do darker side, dude, the dark side of the moon, like the boss rush stuff, like all that. Like, there's mechanical things to do that are different. It's not just like, did you get all the shrines? It's like it's not that sort of thing. I feel like Zelda is more a victim of like doing the same thing over and over again than Mario is. It's just you see more things. Like if you explore the world in Zelda, you get to see things like, oh, did you see that part of the map where there's the freaking horse god lady that can bring her horse back to life, like that type of stuff. Versus like, did you get to that part of the level where this is the challenge that you had to clear? I think that's the differentiator between those two.
I'll definitely go into like later, like after Pokemon, and so I guess before Smash, I'll try this whole dark side. Now, do I have to get
the darker side? You had to collect a certain amount of moons to get to darker side.
Okay.
To get to both actually, but you should have enough moons to get to dark side. Darker side, you got to have, I think, 500.
Yeah.
To get to that.
Yeah, that I don't know, but I'll definitely try that. I'll try the one side. I'll try the one side of the moon. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
I just feel like for them to do that, like to do what you're asking them to do, is just to make you another game that you're going to get bored of again. Because like what this problem sounds like is that you're saying you don't like Mario enough to spend a lot of time with it unless it's quote unquote new. So like you're going to have fun with it and play through it until you had your fill of this particular game, and then you're going to move to the next thing.
Well, I mean that's true for like, you can say that about anything. It's just the fact that as far as
I mean, you could say it about anything, but you wouldn't complain about anything in that way, is what I'm saying. Like you're saying like Mario, we need a better Mario Odyssey or a better Mario game because the one that we have you got bored of, instead of like we need a new Mario game. Period.
True.
Rather than use it like, because you say we need a new Mario game and then positioning Mario Odyssey as a problem because you feel like you're bored of it. Like.
True. Just feel like there's not enough. I don't know. Just drop off.
It just doesn't feel new to you anymore because it's like there's definitely enough content. It's just this game specifically, you had enough of it. You're like, I want a different game. But there is definitely more than enough content for you to play through. It's going to be different enough for you on a gameplay level because that's really all they can change in a Mario game. It's gameplay.
Yeah, it just feels too much like like I said in the video, it's like, okay, I'm just collect this and then get to this I don't know. It just felt too.
That's Mario.
I mean, like after it just got really. I'm like, okay, I need something else. I need something deeper. But like I said, it just felt like they were even how this game was structured. And I want to get into the comments. But even how this is structured, as far as like there not being a hub like it, which I love. I love how there's nothing that break in immersion between. I got this power moon. Now I'm just outside of this empty room. Or that's cool. I like that. But I thought it gave itself way to, okay, I collected this. Now I'm running around this overworld, jumping, enjoying myself, and I'm collecting more, and it's cool. But I just feel like, for that, we should see more in terms of scale and as far as like these worlds be more expanded out, because like some of them are just like seaside kingdom, and I'm just like, this is, I like the captures. That's cool, but I just feel like it's not as grand as, again, New Donk City, something like that. I just feel like I need bigger.
I mean, I feel like I feel like that's for a reason. I feel like that's deliberate. It's not them like skimping on some worlds and like going super grand on another. This is a break-in that, like, these are an amount of ideas that we had that fit this aesthetic. And that, like I said about the, like, how Luncheon was designed, of it being like, this mechanic makes sense for this type of world. Right. That's the same thing with the worlds that they had. It's like, we want to give like this shock to you, because that's what a lot of the theming was. It's like a shock to the system sort of thing, where it's like having Mario in this like hyper realistic world that is Ruined Kingdom. It's like, wait, what? I mean, Lost Kingdom?
Ruined Kingdom. That was dope.
Like that's like a shock to the system. Yeah, that was like cool. Having Mario in this world with like realistically proportioned humans is like a shock to, like, that's the type of thing that they went for. And because they were like, all right, we want to have this like visual theming, what mechanical theming fits this visual world,
Okay, that makes sense.
Rather than it being like, this is just a game with X amount of gameplay or whatever. Like, if you saw each world as a game, like a full game, right? It's not a thing of like, this only has this many hours of gameplay. It's like, no, this is just what this world could naturally give you without them milking it and it being this thing of like, all right, it outstayed its welcome. Which I feel, honestly, which I feel a lot of the bigger ones do. I'd almost prefer more smaller kingdoms than to have like a couple of big ones. Like if it was 10 like open world size worlds versus 20 like sandboxes, I would much rather prefer the sandboxes, because that's just conducive to how Mario works. That's why. And how Mario games are. Like, basically, Mario games have always been structured like this. Like, 2D Mario games have always been sandboxes. It's just, rather than a sandbox like a sandbox being an open world, the sandbox in the 2D games are the map, like the world map. That's one sandbox. This is World 1-1. That's New Donk City. World 1, like that's where, like that's how those games have always just been segmented.
Yeah, see, when you put it like that, that makes a lot more sense. As far as like, okay, this kingdom is scaled in relation or proportion to how much we could fit as far as like ideas and what we could throw into this kingdom, and everything else outside of that it's not necessarily okay. So when you put, I see that. That's a good point. That's a good point. And I guess like with
in closing, you're stupid.
Well, no, I guess and with that, it just makes sense. So going on to what you guys had to say, Derek Del Samo. Mario games have traditionally failed to capture me, with a few exceptions. Those being Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy. I feel the same way you do about 2D Marios, and honestly, Mario Odyssey and Mario 64 also bored me. I think part of it is Mario has become synonymous to me with the cliche bland video games, so there are almost no hooks to get me interested. This is probably why Al Delfino drew me in, unlike the other games, or the grand scope and beauty of Mario Galaxy, particularly Sunshine though. Completely broke away from what we thought it meant to be a Mario game. The entire game concept was new, risky, and just weird. So for me, the next Mario game will need to go to that unsafe route again in order to get me interested. Genuinely, I played through half of Odyssey from borrowing, and even then, I have not been compelled at all to pick it up.
Yeah, no, I feel like you don't like Mario games. That's what it sounds like to me. It honestly sounds like when people, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, if I'm sitting there, right, and I'm like, man, I keep trying to play Fortnite, and every time I play it, each game, I end it, and I hate myself for doing it. Why is Fortnite like? You don't like it, like it's not an experience for you, and that's okay. Especially if it's like a thing of like, if the challenge of Mario, and like not even challenge in the sense of like difficulties, but like or difficulty, if the challenges that are presented to you, even in the beginning of the game, if that's not the thing that propels you forward and makes you want to play, then Mario's not for you. Because that's what it's for. It's not a thing of like, I want to see the next thing. I want to get to the next story beat. That's not what Mario's about. It's about, I want to play through the next goalpost. Literally, a lot of times.
Yeah. Park goes on to say, this isn't a super exciting prediction, but I'm 100% expecting Mario Odyssey 2 in 2020/2021. I think they thought about DLC for it and had enough ideas for the full sequel, so they're going to go that route since it's already succeeded in the past with Mario Galaxy 2. Wish it was a more creative prediction, but it's what I'm thinking in any case.
I'd be surprised if they did that, honestly.
I mean, this game seems big enough to where, you know, I could see them probably going the sequel route. I mean, they've only did it once before, but
I think the fact that the game is so big is the reason why they wouldn't do it. Because with Mario Galaxy, they had to. They couldn't just say, we have way more ideas for Mario Galaxy. Let's just give them a patch or let's make them pay for DLC. The Wii's infrastructure wasn't going to hold that up. You know, like that wasn't going to work. To patch freaking Metroid Other M or whatever, they had to send out like SD cards and stuff. Like it wouldn't have worked. But in this, like in today's day and age, they could send out a $30 download of like, here's Mario Odyssey 1.5, you know, and like, this is your DLC. Especially since like in a lot of their investors meetings, they're talking about supporting their big releases post-launch rather than releasing just another game. They're like, hey, Mario Odyssey has 10 million players. Why don't we just monetize those 10 million people again?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I don't know. I'm interested to see. I'm not sure how. I mean, I'm not saying like I said, I don't want this to get misconstrued. I don't want anybody to think I hate Mario Odyssey. It's you know,
I don't get the impression that you hate it. I just get the impression that you don't like it as much as you think you do.
It's like
where it's like I feel like you like the idea of Mario more than you like actually playing it, because, and not to say that you, instead of like you, I'm not saying you like the idea of it and in reality you hate it. I'm saying you like the idea of it more than you actually like the action of it. So it could be like in your mind you're like, man, Mario's the best game ever, and then you play it and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. You know, like that's what I think that it's happening with you, where it's like your idea of what Mario should be is different from what it actually is. And you enjoy what's there enough, but not as much as what is in your head.
Yeah, I feel as though, like, I mean, because that'd be some crazy expectations as far as like just the like what it is. I do enjoy like I said, I just don't want to make it seem like people are like, oh, you hate this game, and you know.
No, I don't think you hate it.
It's just I feel like it's a good game, it's a great game, but as far as if that's what they, you know, if it is about the challenge, then I feel like they've done a great job in that. But yeah, it's I'm interested to see where they take it next time.
I gotta tell you, I don't think they're going to go any deeper into the story.
Oh no, it's not. I mean, it's not even about that. It's not about like, because I don't think Mario games have ever, like, they're never about this is a great narrative and, you know, like a battle of good and evil. Never. It's just there has to be. I feel like I would like to see more in terms of just world, and that can be disconnected from a story entirely. As far as like just okay, there's a lot to see. There's also challenges involved here, and I think that would be interesting just to see by itself. Even if it was
I don't know what you mean by that, because there's a whole lot to see, but you just don't like it. Like you're like the like stuff like Luncheon Kingdom. Like I would argue there's more to see in Mario Odyssey than there is in Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild is like variations of very similar things, because you're in this world that is like this cohesive world, and it's like, oh man, this mountain looks just as good as the last one. Oh man, this lake is cool. That dragon that I saw from that volcano, that's almost as cool as the blue one. You know, like there's a lot of like the same thing. Whereas like in Mario Odyssey, it's like, oh shoot, I'm in this freaking food world that's also like a volcano. I'm gonna leave this one though, and I'm gonna go to this city. I'm gonna leave this city, and I'm gonna go to this forest with the freaking like old, like at the same time ancient and new robots. You know, like there's a lot of like completely varied things that are like atypical from each other. Whereas it feels like you're asking for conflicting things at the same time, where it's like, I want to see more things, but I want them to be the same, which is like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just, I feel like at this point, after beating the game, and people are like, oh, you know, like, there's a lot to see, I feel like I've already seen it, you know, it's like, it's...
But I don't think people are saying there's a lot to see. I think people are saying that there's a lot to do. It's an action based game. It's not the same thing as, again, Breath of the Wild, where it's like, man, did you see what that Guardian did? You ever get a Guardian and a Stone Talus in the same environment and see how they fight each other? Yeah. Like Mario's not that type of game. It's like, did you click? Man, that one level, that's super hard. How did you do that? You know, like
right.
I did a no cappy run. You know, like stuff. That is what the conversation is about Mario. It's like a mechanically driven game. Whereas Breath of the Wild is more like seeing what happens.
Yeah, and just taking everything in.
Yeah, I'd say Zelda is more about seeing. Mario is more about doing. It's, did you do that? Versus, did you see what happens here?
Yeah, and I think that's where people get the because I mean I haven't even did the whole like, again, I haven't had been drawn even to do the whole like Luigi balloon.
Even that, like, I don't even think that the Luigi balloon race, like that whole, I don't think that that's part of the value of the game. I wouldn't even, like, if you were to come to me and were like, I'm not enjoying this game, bro, that's not what I would have said to you. I wouldn't have been like, did you try Mario? Like, that's like, that's for people, like, you know how I use this analogy a lot of, like, if you like a sauce so much, you look for anything to dip that sauce in. Mm. Where and it gets to a point where it's like, I like this sauce so much and I don't have anything to dip in it. I'm just gonna lick it off the plate. That's what the balloon world is. That's the licking it off the plate. It's like, I like these mechanics so much that I'm looking for any excuse to use them. The things that are like the things that I will point you to is like clearing all the stuff with the moon rocks. Like when you break the moon rocks and then they show you like where all the moons are to clear whatever challenges at those moons. That's the sort of thing that I'm like, you should try that, because that's what the game is about. It's like clearing challenges using Mario's abilities. And a lot of times it's like, sometimes how people did twist Breath of the Wild to be like mechanically driven in the shrines, where it's like, I'm not going to do this how the game wants me to do it. That kind of turns it into what Mario Odyssey is. Like, not what Mario Odyssey is trying to be, but what it is. Breath of the Wild is like, it can be that if you try hard enough. And I feel like how you played, like, even in Breath of the Wild, how often were you like in the shrine, I'm going to try to clear it like this, rather than what you thought the game was trying to make you do?
Not often.
And that, I mean, I think that that's the difference. It's because like Mario Odyssey is that. Like, it's, how do you clear this challenge? There's no like set path. It's not a puzzle. It's an obstacle that you clear with the abilities that you have. But Zelda is like a puzzle that has a predetermined answer, but it just so happens that the engine allows you to circumvent that predetermined answer, and if you have the ability to do so.
Then make your own way toward that.
And I think that Mario Odyssey is more for the people that were inclined to do that. Like, if that was the fun, like, because that was the fun of Breath of the Wild for me. It was like twisting the game. It wasn't like doing what the game wanted me to do.
Yeah, it's just seeing how you could maneuver through different puzzles and things like that. Right. Yeah, I just feel as though, like I said, it's just good game, great game actually. Right. And I like, for what is there, like, as far as like the base, and you know, I did enjoy thoroughly. because I couldn't put it down when I when I was in my swing of playing it.
And your honeymoon face.
My honeymoon face, yeah. But now I'm just like, yeah.
Yes, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a Mario game. How many hours did you put into that game?
Oh, I don't even know.
If you put in more than 30 hours of that game, it's fine. Just stop playing it. That's okay. Like that is, there's no way to even be able to complain about that. Like if I ever heard somebody say, I only played that Mario game for 30 hours and like act like the Mario game was bad for that reason.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
True. All right. You're going a little far. But anyway, let's get into this.
Gazentric,
trademark book.
This is a freaking video all in itself.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, I think the next 3D Mario game will be something more akin to the more linear challenge-based 3D Mario games of 3D Land and 3D World, but with the Odyssey mechanics, maybe except the ability to possess enemies, especially with Nintendo acknowledging in the run-up to Odyssey that there are two types of 3D Mario games, one that are exploration-based and ones that are based more on obstacle course design of the 2D Mario games, but in 3D. Are you harder to get excited for that than what you're describing, though? So I'll ignore what I'm expecting Nintendo to do for the rest of this. I don't mind the segmented nature or even the way some of the worlds are larger than the others. But I'd really dig a cohesive single world with variety from different regions within that world rather than a dozen of different worlds, each dedicated to a single terrain type. If they want to gate progression somehow like Odyssey does, so you have to do a certain amount of things in the world before you can move on to the next world, that's fine. Just require us to pay a toll to access another world, otherwise closed off tunnel to repair a bridge or something, so the experience can be a little bit guided while still being able to have a big cohesive world. But this is a minor thing. I'm hoping Mario Odyssey's successor has something in between its equivalent of Odyssey's purple coins and moons. Not because I ever got tired of collecting moons, but when a level has 89 of the game's primary collectible and 100 of the game's minor collectible, as in Sand Kingdom, it feels like some of the things that give you the primary collectible should have instead given you something else, and not just and sometimes a moon is worth 3 that Odyssey had.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of I think the problem here is partially their fault. In the sense that they need to drop the moons and the coins and all that stuff, because it makes people that don't understand the point innately misconstrue the point. It's like the marketing shouldn't be like, collect all these moons. It should be clear all these challenges, because that's what the game really is about. It just so happens to be that
right. And
getting that moon gives you that dopamine burst.
Yeah, and that's
easier than clearing the challenge.
Yeah, and that's natural. That's a good point, because we're so fixated on the and myself included, as far as getting the moons and collecting the moons, right. And we're like, okay, and this is what this is how I say how it was marketed to us. Well, I'm like okay, well that gets old after a while, completely ignoring the mechanics that went into getting that moon. Which I mean,
because and again, like I said, it's kind of their fault in the sense that because I guess that they assume that most people think that way anyway. Like when me and Bob were playing through Mario Odyssey, right? Mm-hmm. I guarantee, and I can't completely speak for him, but I guarantee that it was 100% of it's the journey, not the destination. Like the moons didn't really matter as much as actually playing through it and saying oh man, that was really fun to do X, right. Versus the thing of man, I got all these moons and now I feel great,
I do love the how freaking like Dan said, there's so many ways to jump. You just the backflip, jumping off a wall, throwing your hat, then jumping off of your hat to go onto a platform. That's dope. I like that. I like that.
And that's what it's about. But you got so wrapped in the moons, and then it's weird because it's it sounds like to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's you get you're like Eye of the Tiger at the moon, but you don't really care about the moon either. where it's like it's like collect all these moons, but the moons don't really feel good for you to get.
Exactly.
So it's like you're chasing something that doesn't matter to you. Where I feel like if you like just readjusted what your goal is, I think that would change a lot of how you feel about the game. Where it's like, rather than I'm playing this game so I can get like, you know, like the gamer clout of like, I have 800 moons, right, fam. Yeah, like, rather than that, I'm playing this because I want to have fun. Like, instead of thinking achievements, think like, is this fun? Because that's how I thought about it. I didn't even care about how many moons I had. The only time that I thought about how many moons do I have is when it was, okay, I want to get to darker side of the moon now. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get these moons. It was never like, got to collect all the moons, you know, like throughout the game.
Right.
That just happened, you know.
Because I've never been a, like I said, keep saying, I've never been a completionist type of like gamer anyways. So like, I'm a freaking 100% check mark this thing off, you know. So from that lens, it was already doomed to fail, you know, as far as
right. Anyway, that's the funny thing, because that's how you viewed it. Like, you're not that type of person, but you viewed it like that's what the game wants you to do, is to check off boxes.
Right. But
that's not what it is. It's just like, it's a sandbox. It's, here's a whole bunch of crap that you can play with. Nobody puts their kid in a sandbox and says, all right, make sure you play with every single thing on here and then report back when you're done.
Right.
It's, here, play with the stuff. You know, like.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just hoping that I honestly I hope the next game keeps a lot of the, like, you know, keeps a lot of what Odyssey is as far as the mechanics and, you know, how things are able to be done, because that would suck otherwise. I would not like that, even if they stripped away the movement and just how fluid the game feels and how fun, you know. But I would also like Gazencha said, you know, how Nintendo expounded upon how, okay, we have exploration based Mario games, and then, you know, more obstacle course design. If they found a way to combine those two, but put a little bit more in terms of exploration, and I guess you could say Odyssey had a lot of exploration as well. Because the kingdoms were diverse.
I'd argue Mario Odyssey has more exploration than any Mario game really has any right to have, honestly. Because the thing about it, like, a lot of the exploration with Mario versus, again, Zelda, a lot of what you discover, you have to be mechanically good at the game to discover it. So like they'll have things like in the you know, in the Sand Kingdom, and then you go underground, and it's like the frozen stuff down in that, like the underground castle and stuff like that. Yep. There's like this part of the game where if you can get on top of this this structure, there's a lot of coins up there. Like, it's like a freaking like treasure chest amount of coins, but you have to be good at the mechanics to get up there. And that's a lot of the stuff that happens in Mario, where it's like, all right, let's see if they're good enough at these mechanics to get here and see this. Whereas Zelda is like, you can shortcut your way by understanding the mechanics, like understanding how to climb and inch out your stamina as much as possible. But for the most part, it's like, all right, once they grind this out enough and they max out their stamina, they can climb up and see this vista.
I also want to play devil's advocate to your point a little bit, as far as when you talk about challenge, as far as Odyssey is concerned. For this game, I would like to see, and I should have incorporated this as well in my video. Something I just thought about. I'd like to see them have a lot more risk to the game. You know, losing, like, what was it, 100 coins, 10 coins. As far as how do you counter that, as far as like, okay, this this game's about challenge. This franchise is about challenge. What challenge is there if there's no risk involved in, okay, I tried this to complete this using these mechanics?
I think this is an interesting question, not because I feel stumped, but it's interesting because I think about this a lot, in that I think people conflate consequence with challenge. Like, they think because a challenge didn't punish you enough that the challenge wasn't challenging. Where it's like, because I didn't die for not clearing that thing, therefore it wasn't hard. Rather than I'm still sitting here and I'm trying to clear this thing and I've been on it for an hour and a half, but in my mind it's not hard because they didn't give me a game over. Like, you still didn't clear it. So therefore, you know, like, them not punishing you is just their way of trying to keep you playing, because a lot of people are going to rage quit if they hit that game over. They're going to say like, oh, you gave me a game over because I can't do the thing. This is unfair. Now they're like, you can't clear it, and that's okay. We'll be here until you can, you know.
Okay, we'll stay looming over your head with this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you'll be here rather than us stepping on you for not being able to do it. Where it's like, and a lot of times what they'll do for games like that, where it's like quote unquote challenging in a quote unquote punishing way, where they're like, this is quote unquote hard because we're going to be like totalitarian on you or whatever, and like force you to go back to the beginning of the level. They're forcing you to relearn, or not even relearn, but like get better at the thing that you are already good at to get to the thing that you are bad at. So you have to replay the thing that you already know how to do to get to the part that you don't. Whereas in this way, they're just giving you straight to the part that you can't do so you can learn that.
Because, like, if you, like, and this is kind of, sorry, this is kind of like twofold. Because, like, and even in, what was it, like, Kaizu Mario, type of something like that?
Yeah, Kaizo Mario.
Like, that is freaking ridiculously challenging and hard, you know?
Right, but you know what's funny about that?
What?
The majority of people that play that game play it with save states.
Oh,
you don't get pushed back to the beginning of the game.
Those guys, oh, man.
But it's still hard,
you know. Like
even the completionist. That's how he played it when they when they played it on Super Beer Bros. They played it with save states, and that doesn't make the accomplishment any less impressive. Just because they didn't have to demonstrate the fact that, oh, I cleared that thing that you saw me clear.
Right.
You know, like,
I'm gonna clear it again.
He cleared it. Yeah, exactly. He cleared it. So what else is there to prove? It's just like that mindset of like game overs not being there. Game overs are artificial difficulty, even more artificial than obviously people developing a game that is supposed to be difficult. It's trying to make you feel like the game's harder than it is, because when you fail, you get punished for it. You know,
right.
And it's like, but at the end of the day, if they don't give you a game over, you still failed.
Oh yeah, true.
You just didn't feel as bad as bad about it.
You're not gonna feel bad losing 10 coins.
Yeah, it's like, and I find that a weird thing to complain about.
But I mean, it does feel. As far as, you know, it just feels like as far as Odyssey is concerned, you know, there's obviously this challenge there, but it's more of a fun thing than having a this is difficult and this is gonna make you bleed out of your eyes and hurt yourself. You know, that's not the aim and purpose. But
oh, you're saying you're saying that they're not marketing it like it's supposed to be this super difficult. Right. But I would say that it is difficult. Like, just because the game doesn't, again, arbitrarily like make it seem like it's harder than it is. You know, like really through arcade tactics. Like, the only reason why game overs exist, period, is because they wanted to milk out more quarters. That's why they exist. They're archaic. There's no reason for them to exist in the home console market where the transaction was made and that was an understanding of, I'm paying you $60 and this is my game.
Right.
So game overs in and of themselves are unnecessary. Like, people just associate that with, man, this game is so much better because it's so much harder, because in my mind, that's like how I experience games. When I lose, I have to put another quarter in, and that makes the challenge that much greater for me. But we're past that. We're not in arcades anymore. Most of us never really needed to be. Right. Like, our age group, you didn't have to go to no arcade. You always had access to like a N64 or SNES or something, you know. So that's always been our.
I'm actually a lot older than you think I am. No.
Yeah, of course.
No, but
yeah, sure. I don't even think you had an
freaking Cuphead. That's challenging. No, but I don't know.
You said what?
I said Cuphead. That's challenging. Mario Odyssey. That's
exactly. See, you know what's funny about Cuphead though? What? Cuphead gets you right back into the action. Cuphead does not meander about like, oh, you lost, blah blah blah. It's you lost, no next to no loading screen. You jump right back in. Yeah, each Cuphead, level is very short, so it's like just like, are you good enough to clear it?
Right. Yeah, that was extremely like this is so difficult, and just the end result was so. I mean, it was fun while playing, but just knowing how difficult that game is in every single aspect of that game. And then when you finally do, like, oh my god, I actually beat that. That was crazy. Exactly. And freaking Cuphead 2, man. Freaking need that DLC.
Well, we're getting DLC first.
Yeah, true.
Next year.
All right, but before that, we'll be getting you guys' questions. I don't know. They're kind of weird. Patar35 says, for Pokemon 2019, would y'all like to see a fighting style closer to Pokken Tournament than the turn-based style in the previous Pokemon games? I think it is time they do away turn-based fighting, and it puts me to sleep. Patar, I'm gonna refer you back to a video AJ did a while ago about you. Actually, you've done so many I can't even keep up. But you
too many Pokemon.
You brought this up a while ago.
See, but this is the thing. I don't want it to be Pokken. Because I think that those are two separate things. I want Pokken to be Pokken, and I want Pokemon to be Pokemon. But I do think that Pokemon should be more action-based. I think that something like a system, not exactly like this, but a system along the same line of thinking as like a Kingdom Hearts, a Final Fantasy 15, you know, where it's
right. It has like a it's like real time, but also has like these input commands where it's like, you know, well, Kingdom Hearts specifically.
It has like things that harken back to the turn-based like mentality, you know, but it's not, because like just like many things, like I said about the game overs being like a means to an end, them wanting you to pay them more quarters. Turn-based RPGs were a means to an end. They wanted to have this world, you know, in a way that made sense to you narratively and in gameplay. And this world that they created in Pokemon, they wanted you to control a trainer that controls a Pokemon that does different commands and stuff like that. How do you do that on a Game Boy? You select options.
Right, exactly. You know? And that's cause in that
but 20 years later,
right, that
we have better answers for that question.
Right. And there are ways to do that, cuz like in the show, you don't see, you know, how funny would that be just to watch the show and see two Pokemon just standing there, one doesn't move, and then one just stands there, and it's just that's not how
like in the show they don't even adhere to, like, it's not turn based, like even in the show or anime, I mean, or manga or whatever, you know, or like any iteration like Pokemon Origins and stuff like that. It's not okay, it's my turn, okay, it's your turn, okay, it's my turn. No, they're yelling commands at their Pokemon, whatever, you know. It's like Ash is like, use Thunderbolt, and he's like, oh no you don't, you use Flamethrower, and they interrupt each other, you know, like it's, or they double up when it's like, oh, he can't get up, attack again, you know, like, because that's how fights work, turns out. Exactly. You know, it's like, it's not like, all right, I punched you, it's your turn to punch me. You know, like it's just like most people that like go to bat for turn based, it's just because they fear that they won't be as good at, not because they think that the action based gameplay won't be good, but because they won't be as good at it.
Right.
So I think that's
it's funny how like that turned into, like, over the years, that's just like they're like, that's what Pokemon is, you know, and that's what it has to stay forever, because you know,
because think about it, it's funny because every single time Pokemon illustrates what Pokemon looks like, Pokemon Company, Game Freak, Nintendo, whoever does any of this advertising, animations, translating from one piece of media to another one, every time they do it, it never looks like what the RPG looks like. You know why? Because that's not what Pokemon's about. Pokemon is like, every time, even in the RPGs, when the game's opening up, Pokemon are jumping up and using Shadow Ball and, you know, slashing each other and dodging and stuff. That doesn't happen in the game. You can't tell your Pokemon to dodge. The game just tell attack missed.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't say, oh shoot, he's using Thunderbolt, jump over that and use freaking Rock Blast or whatever. Like you can't do that.
Yeah.
But they do it in every other piece of me. I guarantee. And Detective Pikachu, there's going to be something like that where he's like, oh, shoot, Pikachu, he's doing the thing. Jump over that and use thunder. You know, like that's what's going to happen. But you can't do that in the current Pokemon games. And I think reaching a system that's like that, where it's like, jump under that, run towards there, go here, you know.
If they have a scene in that movie where it's like, Pikachu's just standing there. It's like, oh, his attack missed. Or like, if they refer back to like the handheld, like that'd be so funny. That'd be hilarious to me.
It's my turn. It's your turn.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my turn.
That'd be funny.
It's your turn. They're not. Yeah.
Somebody
it's done.
Somebody commented. They were like I think it was on the trailer actually. They were like I want to see a Deadpool 3 like comment. You guys have like a Pikachu line.
Oh yeah.
I was like, cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
They're probably going to. He's probably going to. They're probably going to mention that.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, I just wanted to make it Nino Kuni. Give me the Nino Kuni like play style in Pokemon, because it just makes sense. Because I want them to keep the RPG aspects of it, because, like, in that sense, because it does fit the narrative of you're the trainer, you're not the Pokemon. But it doesn't need to be turn based for you to do that either. Because just like in Pokken, you're not the Pokemon, you're the trainer.
Right.
But we're going long on questions today.
It sounds like you're just trying to save Pokemon from the inevitable death from Yokai 4. Oh no, I'm joking.
No, I'm just
joking,
trying to
guys.
make Pokemon evolve. I don't want Pokemon to be the same game 20 years from now.
I do. That is very true, because going back to Mario.
Mario's not the same game.
Going back to exactly, Mario's not the same game that it was. Thank goodness. But yeah, freaking. This is gonna be. Come on, guys. You guys just gotta adapt to change as best you can. Or if not, play the old games. I'm gonna stop you. Falcon, my boy. He says, if Nintendo can give you like, okay, fanatics, we need an all new IP for the Switch. Here's an unlimited budget, but it needs to be ready by holiday 2020. What kind of game would it be? All right, AJ, we got to put our thinking hats on here. We got to put our thinking caps on.
All right, picture this.
All right.
A 500-hour long RPG. All voice acted. Entirely. No written dialogue. No, that's not going to happen in freaking 2 years.
Yeah, seriously. A new IP.
And we got
till
two years. We got less than 2 years, because the game has to be out by this time 2 years from now.
Yeah, so it has to be finished production and everything wrapped up.
What? I mean, knowing us, we're gonna want something that's like co-op in some way,
right? Exactly.
Like online co-op.
Yeah.
And knowing Nintendo, something that is like really geared towards a mechanic, that's going to be a lot of like what the game is. So like if the gimmick, quote unquote, like gimmick in the traditional sense, where it's like, this is how we're selling you the game. If the gimmick is like, this game is about online co-op, what would that character look like? What would the gameplay be?
That'd be interesting, because I feel like that we haven't ran into that yet, as far
Not
as
from Nintendo,
yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Have their army of two, as it were, or something like that, or the way out, as it
right. Games like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool,
but not necessarily that.
Right,
exactly.
Like, not that gritty.
Like this. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily, or even it doesn't necessarily have to be like story driven. It could be like a mechanics, like a mechanically driven game. Like it could be something like just a regular like arena shooter or something like that. But just have that mechanic as like as the backbone to whatever the game is. I feel like that would be interesting, and I feel like that is something that helps them get better at stuff. Like I feel like they got better at like their online games through Splatoon. Like I think ARMS is really solid with like matchmaking and stuff like that, because they got way better at it with Splatoon.
Right.
And I feel like if they had a game that was like, this is an online multiplayer game, co-op, I feel like that would make them more comfortable to make like a 2D Mario game online multiplayer co-op.
Yeah, whatever it be, whatever we, of course we can't like nail down. These will be the characters. This is the name. This is the world. This is the. But short answer, that sounds like it'd be a really really good. Because that's unexplored territory for them.
Maybe we could probably give you like a longer, like more thought out answer for that. And maybe we'll give it to members. Maybe it'll be a member exclusive AJ plus Logan action point that we get to.
There you go.
Members.
Sweetness.
So stay tuned to that. If you're not a member, consider it.
Exactly. Falcon I'm sorry. Since we're on Falcon's comment.
Falcon's a member though.
Since we're on Falcon's comment, Falcon just said on Facebook. He says,
I saw it. But continue, read it to the people.
He said Falcon had the nerve to say honey buns are just glazed donuts. Fight me. Now,
either he has the best honey buns in the world or the worst glazed donuts. That's all good.
Wow.
Like that's the first thought that came to my mind.
Yeah, I was like, Falcon. I commented said, Falcon, you're my boy and everything, but glazed donuts are way better than honey donuts. They don't even taste the same.
They don't.
That's crazy to me. He said, I'm gonna do a side by side taste test and get back to you on that. That's funny. That's what?
Yeah, I saw that. I legit was about to pull that, like, and put it in there as a question, like part of his comment. I was like, nah.
So I mean, I guess my question to you guys listening would be: can you believe that he just said that? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, don't even weigh in, because we already know that if you're a reasonable human being, you already know that what he just said is stupid. Can you believe that he said it though?
just because they're like, I don't know, like I guess like textured the same, like as far as like they're.
I feel like honey buns are closer to dumping a whole bunch of honey on some bread than glazed donuts are.
I just like, oh my god,
like glazed donuts would be good without the glaze. Honey buns would not be good without the honey.
If somebody blindfolded me and was like, if I was starving, better yet. Someone's like, oh, you want this honey bun? I'm like, no, I'd rather die. But glazed donut, I'll freaking eat that while I'm after being stuffed, quote unquote. Still eat that crap. What?
These are facts.
Guy's crazy. Guy is crazy. And that's it.
In other words, Falcon, you're an idiot.
Exactly.
No.
Ricky Jamson said, honey bun's better than glazed. No, but Ricky Jansen really says, LOL, I promise I'll be more specific on my questions this time around. All right, here's my question. I'm not reading that. That's what? Okay, real question.
That's from Game Grumps.
Okay, real question. Can we get a Justin cameo in one of the VODs? What? VODs? Oh, vids, sorry. LOL, by the way, this is K-Bop from Discord, and y'all reading this should join the community. It's great.
Yeah, Logan, you should join the community.
Dude, I lost my login. I got log. I'm trying to freaking log back into. I need to freaking.
There has to be a way to recover that.
I know it freaking sucks because
I forgot my password. Send it to me or whatever. What was I saying?
I'm hurting. I want to reach out to you. I'm saying I'm freaking. You guys see me? Follow me on Twitter. I'm freaking. I tweet.
Yeah, he's stepping it up on Twitter. He actually tweets.
I tweet stuff.
Yeah, he tweets now, guys.
Let's at Logan M Boyer, Logan M BOWYER, and then follow my bro.
Probably in the description. You don't gotta follow me. I got enough followers, you know. I'm just done. Just don't ever follow me again. Everybody, the club is closed. No, I'm joking. But anyway, we've had Justin on the podcast. Justin has done like work on videos. He wrote one video, and it did okay for our standards now, but back then it didn't really do that good. And also, he helped you out a little bit on your Metroid video. That video did really well.
Yeah, he did.
So Justin has a lot to do with the videos and ways that we don't like scream from the rooftops, because that's just part of what he does for us. Like, he's just a graphic designer, and so like a lot of stuff. Like if you see like a custom graphic, like the thumbnail for the video before my the generations of consoles thing, the like what Switch can learn from older Nintendo consoles, he made that graphic.
Right.
stuff like that. Like Justin does a lot of video stuff. But
Yeah, he does.
We're talking about Justin being in. Well, at least me and Justin are. I think I talked to you about it. We're talking about Justin's role as far as videos being more community based, like for members, because people that are members are more likely to know about Justin and want to know his thoughts. You know.
Right.
Whereas the majority of the people that watch our videos are going to be like, "Who is Justin?" And now we got to like reintroduce a whole nother person, and then like it's too much for like at the size that we're at now, and we're just trying to grow F4 as is.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's just a long drawn out way of saying yes and no.
Yeah, exactly. Justin does a lot of he does a lot of stuff for the channel. And speaking of which, go check out the website. That way, there you can see articles.
That's true.
If something big happens. And you don't see it in on the channel. We don't really put in the video something about E3. Chances are you'll see an article, or not even chances are you'll see an article on our website, www.fanatics4.com. That way.
Yep, it's probably also linked in the description.
Linked in the description. And that's the end of the podcast. I'm gonna go play Pokemon. Let's go. Bye. No, but seriously, I'm about to go play that because awesome.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.